Streaming on clickorlando.com, you're watching News 6 at 7 a.m.
It is a weather alert day across Central Florida as an area of low pressure continues to spin up. Scattered heavy tropical downpours, gusty winds, all will be a possibility for today. We'll be breaking down the timing and how this area of low pressure could develop even further.
Daycare worker accused of repeatedly hitting a toddler. What the child's father says he saw after demanding to see the surveillance video.
And billions in federal funding for schools frozen. The new lawsuit just filed by 24 states and what it could mean for students here in Central Florida.
Well, we do want to start with that weather alert. Severe storms taking their toll on parts of the area right now. And yesterday, these are pictures from Ocala where a man and his dog had to be rescued yesterday after a large tree toppled onto their home on Southeast 15th Terrace. We're told they're okay this morning, but as Candace just said, we have more rain in store for today. In fact, it's happening right now. Good morning. On your Tuesday, it is 7 a.m. I'm Justin Wormuth.
I'm Julie Broughton. Trooper Steve is watching those wet roads. But we start with Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos and the rain coming down heavy in a lot of spots right now.
Yeah, I think everyone's being kind of caught off guard by this. They're saying, what is this low? And then all of a sudden they're waking up and they're saying, okay, is it here? What's happening? Well, let's first start off with this is not a named storm. This is not officially an organized system, but the National Hurricane Center is watching it for it to potentially develop once it moves into the Gulf. But regardless of what it does, by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're seeing our local impacts. Today, this morning, a level 2 impact there, kind of a moderate concern. Same story into the afternoon as tropical downpours starting along the coast will continue to spread inland throughout the next few hours. This is that spin right now on our local radar. You can see we're starting to see a new batch of rain now moving in across our coastal areas into Volusia County. You had rain earlier this morning. Now you're seeing some of that in New Smyrna. A little further inland there in and around areas of northern Lake County into Seminole County. Winter Springs, the heaviest of the rain right now between Winter Park, Union Park, University Park, kind of this zone just south of Bertha, north of Azalea Park, seeing some heavy rain. Now, all of this will continue to move from north to south, kind of wrapping around into areas of some of Orange County. The worst of the rain right now, right along the 520, along I-95 from Canaveral Acres down through Rockledge, areas of Cocoa Beach, also seeing some really heavy rain at this point in time. Already in parts of Central Florida, just within the last hour, we've racked up almost an inch of rain in this zone that we've been really focusing on. We'll have more details on how much more rain we could see, breaking it all hour by hour in just minutes. Now let's check on those roadways. Certainly wet, certainly active already this morning, Steve.
That's right. So that's going to be a recipe for all of that nuisance ponding there. Those are the puddling on the side of the road, entrance and exit ramps, stuff like that. Please make sure you're paying attention. This is, I'm trying to keep up here, and this is 528 at 520, kind of where Candace was talking about heavy rain. Thank you for everyone that has their headlights on. No reason for the brights there, buddy, to go ahead and shut them off, all right? Because you're just creating a problem for everybody else. We just talked about that. We'll talk about it again towards the end of the hour. I-95 south there of State Road 528. I do have a crash. If you look behind my head here on TV, you kind of see some flashing lights there off into the distance. They kind of zoomed out for us. It's going to be northbound here, I-95 just before 528, off to the right-hand side, not blocking any lanes, but mix that with rain. And then, of course, the red and blue lights kind of causes a little bit of slowdown. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. Now to a story you first saw on News 6. A local daycare worker facing charges after a disturbing arrest. She's accused of hitting a young boy nearly a dozen times, even lifting him up by his face. The alleged abuse happened last month at the Oviedo Christian Academy. That's on Broadway Street, not far from Lake Jessup Avenue. Mark Lehman is there live for us this morning. And Mark, that boy's father is now talking to News 6 about what happened.
Yes, when we first learned about this after the father reached out to our News 6 results desk. He says he was concerned after picking up his child here at the daycare with scratches on his face. But he tells us those concerns soon turned to outrage after looking into what happened.
He had 3 or 4 scratches just on one side of his face, a little bit of redness on the other side.
Chris Galvin showed us these images of his 18-month-old son, Benjamin. He says he'd been going to the Oviedo Christian Academy for about 2 months until he had scratches on his face one day at pickup.
They said it was an accident.
That enough of an explanation for you?
No.
Galvin says he requested to see the daycare's security cameras. The videos have not been released publicly, but a report obtained by News 6 states they show teacher Lucia Moniri grab the toddler after he bit another child.
She's yelling at him to stop biting. and then again proceeded to go to the other room and then yelled at him again and then started smacking him on the face repeatedly.
Moniri was arrested on a child abuse charge. An affidavit states the toddler was hit with an open hand at least 6 times while sitting on the ground and crying, and again at least 4 times after he was pulled to a standing position. She declined to speak with police about what happened, with her lawyer telling us the video should be reviewed before anyone jumps to conclusions. Well, so far, the daycare isn't commenting about what happened. We did some digging and found the same owner ran a daycare here at the same address under the name All About Kids. Last year, we reported a worker here was arrested after leaving a child inside a hot bus. For now, reporting live in Oviedo, Mark Lehman, News 6.
And Mark, news of that arrest comes as we learn some new details about a Volusia County teacher also charged with child abuse. This surveillance video was released by Orange City Police yesterday. So you could see that teacher there walk up to a group of kids where it looks like she pulls one down by the hair. This happened last month at the Emmaus Lutheran Preschool. The surveillance video is why Zeta Bayala was arrested on Friday. She was released from jail this weekend, but was ordered to stay away from any unrelated children and the alleged victim.
New this morning, an update to the investigation into a hit and run that left a woman badly hurt in Port St. John. Investigators are now confirming the vehicle the suspect was driving before leaving the scene was this gold Honda Accord. This all happened Saturday morning while the 55-year-old woman was walking along Arabella Lane near Barclay Drive. News 6's James Sparvero spoke with neighbors who knew the woman. They say she is still in the hospital, and they say they're not surprised this happened.
Sometimes neighbors call officers to come out, and it's either anywhere from 2 hours to no shows before they even get out here. I've been praying everything goes good for her, and I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner before now.
The car is believed to have damage to the front right bumper and passenger side mirror. If you know anything, you can call the Highway Patrol.
Some key rules have now been set for the upcoming trial for the man accused of raping and killing 13-year-old Madeline Soto. Yesterday, the judge addressed 2 requests from Stephen Stearns, ruling he will wear a hidden leg brace, but he will be allowed to use a pen during trial. A motion to remove newspapers from the courthouse lobby was also granted. Prosecutors say Stearns sexually abused the teen for years before her death last year. Jury selection in his sex abuse trial is set for next week. Stearns faces a separate murder trial for Soto's death in September.
Happening today, leaders in Orange County are set to get an update on the ongoing crackdown on illegal immigration. This time, it's about a new change from ICE that will have local officers transporting detainees to other parts of the state. News 6's Angie Casada is following the latest live. And Angie, this all comes as some continue to call on local leaders to push back.
Hey, good morning, guys. Absolutely. So this transport agreement is part of the county's ongoing partnership that they have with ICE. But now immigration advocates are saying that this is making Orange County a hub for detention, and they're asking and demanding commissioners to do something about it.
Today, Orange County commissioners are set to get an update from the Corrections Department about its ongoing partnership with Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Local officials have been helping for months in the crackdown on illegal immigration, but now that will expand with local corrections officers also handling transports of detainees to other facilities, including Alligator Alcatraz in the Everglades. Critics, though, have been fighting this whole thing for months.
Those are people. Those are sisters, those are brothers, workers, our colleagues, they're our neighbors. They are more than just a number, they're real people.
The illegal immigration crackdown even leading to protests, with critics calling on county leaders to reject cooperating with ICE altogether. And some local leaders say they also have concerns.
We are continuing to be complicit in something that not only historically is going to be shown to be immoral and I believe cruel and indefensible.
Mayor Jerry Demings, though, says the county's hands are tied.
At the end of the day, I felt that to not sign it was going to expose our county to some consequences that were going to be greater than if I signed it.
Now, the mayor says state law and pressure from Tallahassee left little room for local control, but advocates plan to be out here this morning, rallying once again for a different path forward. Of course, we'll be here to cover all of it. reporting live in Orange County. Angie Casada, News 6.
Thank you, Angie. 24 states are now suing the Trump administration to try and get nearly $7 billion in federal funding for schools unfrozen. An analysis from New America identified 100 school districts that are most at risk of losing funding from the freeze. 13 of the districts were in Florida, including Orange, Osceola, Brevard, and Polk County schools. The administration put the freeze in place, saying it wants to make sure the money being spent aligns with the administration's policies. There are 6 specific programs being looked at, including those that support the hiring and retention of teachers in low-income areas and helping immigrant students attain English proficiency. Last week, News 6's Laverne McGee spoke with Osceola County school leaders who, again, are at risk of losing out on $6.5 million. The district told us they're actively developing contingency plans. You can watch her report right now on clickorlando.com.
Let's get you back to your forecast now. If you're just waking up with us, today is a weather alert day, and we are talking about some heavy rain already.
Heavy rain already, moving in along our coastline, will continue to spread further inland throughout the day. So off and on, some of those tropical downpours will pack a punch. We're already seeing it on the radar. And some of those heavier downpours will have that potential of producing some gusty winds as well. We've seen both already. I want to show you rainfall totals just within the last hour. These are radar estimates in and around Canaveral Acres, just south of that, riding right along 95 there. We've been racking up between half of an inch to almost an inch of rainfall just within the last hour, and right along the 528 right now, seeing about an inch of rain that is falling. Now, most of this rain can continue to slowly wrap around, some of it now pushing out towards the open waters as that low continues to move out through Angel City, areas of Cocoa Beach, Canaveral Acres, still dealing with some of those heavier downpours. And it's not just in Brevard County, but that overall motion bringing in scattered showers along that low. Areas of Edgewater, Bethune Beach, New Smyrna also seeing some pockets of heavy rain. Now, the good news is, glass half full kind of mentality here. This is beneficial rain. We're not seeing anything very strong or severe. We're not even seeing any lightning right now. So a lot of this is very beneficial to our grounds where we still desperately need some of that rain in some parts. Union Park, Azalea, seeing some really heavy rain right there along the 417 and the 408. Yes. The 408, I'm getting myself mixed up there, along with the 528 as well. But we're going to continue to see these off and on downpours possible. Right now, Orlando International, you can see the cloud cover is out there. No rain just yet, but that will all soon change. We'll have more details on the timing of the rest of today's rain and a look at the future of that low, what it could possibly do once it moves into the Gulf, coming up in just minutes. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. Thank you for your head nod. I was like 417.
Nope, she's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
And I've moved DOT camera because I'm trying to keep with her. She's the chief. She's in charge right now. 417 at 408. You can see DOT cam. So I've been watching this. Sometimes visibility is pretty heavy. Sometimes it's not. But either way, there is a lot of water out on the roadway. So please make sure you're watching your speed. You begin to feel that vehicle lose connection there. Obviously, lower your speed. Do not overcorrect. Azalea Park 408 westbound, not bad. But look at the difference here from 417 and 408 to 528 out by State Road 520. Complete whiteout conditions if you're out there and you feel, hey, maybe I shouldn't be driving right now. Hazard lights, move over to the shoulder, get off the roadway. I do not need you guys doing 10 miles an hour in a 70-mile-an-hour zone. No crashes to give you out there right now. East and westbound, pretty clear. Send it back to you guys.
Thank you, Steve. 7:13 coming up, an eviction notice placed on the penthouse door of a local congressman.
Straight ahead, how he's responding to the more than $85,000 debt. Plus, caught on camera, what happened the moment a plane crashed into a Florida neighborhood.
And a final vote expected for changing the hours of last call. Up next, the possible changes coming to downtown Kissimmee after tonight's vote. Trouble this morning for Central Florida Congressman Corey Mills. He is facing eviction from his Washington, D.C. penthouse that's costing him more than $20,000 a month. According to court filings, the landlord claims Mills owes her more than $85,000 in unpaid rent from March through early July. The documents also include a picture of another notice about past due rent that was posted on the door of the penthouse back in January. Now, News 6 has reached out to the congressman's office for comments. We have not heard back, but he did respond to another reporter on social media saying he has asked management multiple times for a link to where he can make a payment, but he keeps getting error messages.
Changes could be coming to downtown Kissimmee. Tonight, the Board of Commissioners is set to decide if the city will follow in the footsteps of Orlando and change the rules when it comes to last call. Kissimmee community correspondent Stephanie Rodriguez is live with the story. And Stephanie, this comes after safety concerns involving alcohol.
Yeah, Julie. So to try to curb violence, the commission is considering requiring a special late night permit so businesses can serve alcohol between midnight and 2 a.m. Now, the latest push comes after safety concerns after several shootings, including one in early May that left 2 people injured. The mayor and commission then instructed city staff to drop an ordinance similar to what's already been passed in Orlando. According to the ordinance, bars in downtown Kissimmee would have to pay $250 to get that special permit. It would also give the chief of police the ability to suspend a bar's after midnight permit if there's an incident or safety concerns. Now, business owners in downtown Kissimmee spoke out against the proposed after midnight alcohol sales permit during the last commission meeting. There were also members of the public who told the commission they agreed with the potential ordinance.
Nothing good happens in the street after midnight. I'm here to urge you to adopt the ordinance restricting alcohol sales after midnight and implementing a permitting process for those businesses that wish to sell alcohol between midnight and 2 a.m.
Being able to have an enjoyable time downtown. How that balance is created, I really don't know, but I don't think restricting businesses from being able to make a living, not only the business, but the people that work there.
Now tonight, the commission will make the final decision on whether to move forward or not. They'll also discuss potentially changing their noise ordinance the way it's written right now. Now, that would be something that businesses that would get this special late night alcohol sales permit would have to comply with in order to keep it as well if it does pass. I'm your Kissimmee community correspondent, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Thank you, Stephanie. Now to scary moments in a South Florida neighborhood. Doorbell video captured the moments after a Cessna plane crashed into a tree and slammed into a neighborhood in Pembroke Pines. 4 people were inside. Neighbors rushed out to help. One man grabbed a fire extinguisher, tried to break the window, couldn't get through, though. That's when an off-duty first responder arrived with an axe, smashing the window as others pulled the people out. We are told everyone survived.
In Spain, the final bull run of this year's San Fermin Festival was also the fastest, lasting just 2 minutes and 16 seconds. 6 massive bulls charged through the streets, sending hundreds of runners dressed in white and red, as you can see there, sprinting to stay ahead of them. 2 people were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The week-long festival draws thousands from around the world for Spain's most iconic summer tradition. And when you think about 2 minutes of running from a bull, I bet it doesn't sound like a long time, but
it sounds miserable.
It probably feels like eternity.
I'm just shocked that only 2 people had to go to the hospital.
Right.
I feel like we often see some really
There's some
gross
rough
injuries
that take place. I think I'd do the tomato festival. That'd be fun. You see the ones where they throw and you beat each other up with tomatoes? And
Yeah,
stuff?
that works.
That's better than a bull chase.
Yeah, I'd rather.
I'd be the loser that would trip on the curb.
Oh, well.
You know, like that's where I'd get injured.
Then you just, the stampede.
And then there's the stampede on top,
walked over, run over.
But I mean, it's tradition. I mean, there's people who wait their entire lives for this moment.
Yeah.
That moment.
Well, this is tradition for us. We got a weather alert day.
Yeah.
As tropical moisture moves through, it is a summertime tradition.
It is July after all, isn't it? And, you know, the good news is this low is not developing into anything significant, at least not yet. Right now, the National Hurricane Center, we're waiting for its update, their update to come out. Normally it's around 8. Usually they bring it out a little earlier than that. But right now they're giving it a 40% chance of potential tropical development. This could become a depression or a storm. but not before it makes its way here into Central Florida. I do really see that potential starting up by the time it moves into the Gulf later on tonight and into Wednesday. But in the meantime, though, it's officially called Invest 93L. That just basically means it's an area that we are now investigating a little more routinely. So we are getting those spaghetti models out every couple of hours. You can see many of them take it out towards the Gulf. Some kind of hug right along the west coast of Florida. That scenario would keep a pretty just sloppy, unorganized mess. But if it stays out into the Gulf where the waters are about 85 plus degrees out there, certainly we'll have an opportunity, a small opportunity to possibly develop as it moves a bit closer, possibly towards Louisiana. In the meantime, though, regardless of what it's going to do later on this week, we're in store for a weather alert day. Not because of anything severe, but I do think we could rack up a lot of rain in a short amount of time. So that flooding threat and those gusty winds all will be a possibility. Notice the wind gusts already. That center still, or at least the overall circulation, is still just offshore. As it continues to move onshore, we will see the winds pick up just a bit. Right now, our wind gusts upwards about 15 to 20 miles per hour. So you can see here's the radar. You can see that overall circulation pretty clear on our radar. We're starting to see another batch now starting to clip our northern coastal communities, Port Orange, Edgewater, Bethune Beach, seeing some moderate to heavy rain at times. Now remember, the yellows and oranges here are not the typical sea breeze downpours. These are tropical downpours. The raindrops are bigger. The rain rate is also much higher as well. There through Lake Mary, Winter Springs, right along the I-4 corridor, Azalea Park, a little further south into areas of Conway, up and down the 528 has been just kind of a soggy setup for the past several hours. And we've been racking up a lot of rain from Canaveral Acres all the way through areas of Cocoa Beach, seeing some really beneficial rain. Now, as we take you here throughout the next few hours, that rain is going to continue to kind of wrap around Central Florida, producing some of those heavier downpours. Models still depicting a little bit of those outflow boundaries, producing some more of those tropical downpours. So we're going to keep things pretty unsettled even into the evening. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas will have another busy night pinpointing some of those storms. And even Wednesday, as that low pulls away, we'll still have enough tropical moisture to even fuel up a couple stronger storms. We'll have more sunshine tomorrow, so I do think the instability will be there to fire up a few severe thunderstorm warnings by then. But as we take you here hour by hour, so you can kind of plan out your soggy day, 89 will be your high. That cloud cover will be keeping us, I guess, a touch cooler, not cool, comfortable, just not as hot in the triple digits, but do expect to get back to finally near normal by the weekend. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve.
I knew this was going to happen. Westbound 408 at 417. This just happened. I was watching this and I was like, something's gonna kick off here. So all your lanes are gonna be closed here for not sure how long. First responders just pulling up to this. Fire rescue, and you can see some law enforcement present. So again, westbound 408 as you're approaching State Road 417, even right there in the merge. On 417 over at University, I'm also seeing some heavy rain out there. So Candace is 100% spot on here when she's saying these downpours are going to come on. They're going to affect your drive, not only right now, but possibly throughout the morning. So please be careful. But again, we're watching right now westbound 408 at State Road 417. If you're a mile marker talker at the 17 mile marker, stick with us here and I'll keep you watching. Back to you guys.
Happening today with less than a month until the new school year, Lake County Schools is hosting a district-wide hiring event today. It runs from 9 to 11 at Mount Dora High School. The district is hiring up to 100 employees, including teachers, counselors, bus drivers, custodians, and support staff. Bring a resume and dress professionally if you plan on attending. Still ahead, proving manufacturing in the U.S. is not dead.
Look inside the massive facility building luxury mobile homes right here in Central Florida.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6.
Tropical downpours, gusty winds, all associated with an area of low pressure off the coast will continue to spiral in. Plenty of moisture throughout the day. You can see already dealing with some of the heavier rain bands already approaching areas as far inland as about I-4. Now, the rain will continue off and on throughout the day. That is why today we are designating it a weather alert day. You can see scattered showers, heavier downpours possible till as late as about 7, 8 o'clock tonight. Once that low clears, moves over the Gulf, we will have the potential of developing, but regardless of that, do expect a pretty unsettled day today with highs in the upper 80s. Now let's check on those very wet roadways. They are getting busy this morning with Chipper Steve.
That's right. Westbound 408 right now at State Road 417. Nasty crash here. You're down to one travel lane. They're pushing everyone to the left-hand side. Sheriff's office out here with fire rescue. On the map, you can see we are now delayed probably for about a mile back towards Dean Road. Again, westbound 408 approaching 417. The news continues next, where we get updates on any of our big stories anytime. ClickOrlando.com.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6.
It is 7:30 on your Tuesday.
Let's get a check now of our top stories. Overnight, the chances again went up that we could soon have a tropical depression close to Florida. Either way, we'll have a high chance of rain and storms for the next few days as that system moves across the state and away from Central Florida.
A worker at an Oviedo daycare is facing charges accused of hitting a young boy nearly a dozen times. Lucia Minori was arrested last month after the alleged abuse was caught on camera. Her lawyer, though, is urging people not to jump to conclusions.
And Orange County commissioners are set to again take up the county's agreement with ICE today. It comes as we learn local corrections officers will now be transporting suspected illegal immigrants to other parts of the state. Turning back now to your weather, and all eyes on that system right off the coast of Florida. You can see those clouds on our Launch Credit Union camera.
Yeah, plenty of tropical moisture moving through central Florida right now. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos pinpointing it all on this weather alert day, Candace.
Listen, if you're out and about in the next couple of minutes, that News 6 Pinpoint weather app is going to be extremely helpful throughout the day as these downpours are going to come kind of in rounds. And when they come through, they're going to be coming down with a lot of rain, some gusty winds at times, which is why, again, today we are designating it a weather alert day. The culprit is an area of low pressure. It's not tropically organized just yet. We'll have that potential of becoming something more once it reemerges into the Gulf. In the meantime, though, the National Hurricane Center is giving it a 40% chance of development. So this area, also termed Invest 93, is an area that the National Hurricane Center is going to be closely investigating over the next couple of days. As it moves over the Gulf, we're going to have that opportunity to see it develop possibly into depression or possibly a storm. If it does get a name, the next name on the list, by the way, is Dexter. So kind of widening out the radar view here, you can see that overall spin already, kind of the western half of that overall center of circulation. It's not really closed circulation, but an overall gist of that rotation is now clipping parts of our viewing area. Some scattered showers in Volusia, a main line now approaching areas of Orange County, cleared Seminole County at this point, and all this still needs to wrap around. And we have all this moisture that we still need to get through over the next couple of hours. So not only are we going to be dodging those heavy downpours that have been producing a lot of rain already this morning, we're starting to see the wind gusts. They're starting to kind of up a little bit, up to about 15 to 20 miles per hour. We'll have more details on the timing of today's rain and a look at the future of this system coming up in just a little bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve.
All right, we do have a traffic alert. What we're seeing here is westbound lanes of 408 at State Road 417. So as you're headed towards the downtown area, heavy delays. Nasty crash out here. The sheriff's office really assisting in shutting down traffic, but you're getting down to one travel lane. So if you're headed in this direction, you're backed up towards Dean already. So please be careful. I'm adding 10 to 15 extra minutes. The rest of us, not too bad, but look at the rain right now on 417 just north of State Road 528. This is at the 26-mile marker. You're doing pretty good when it comes to the actual way traffic is moving, but conditions doesn't look too good. So please, let's focus out there. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Steve. A local daycare worker accused of hitting a toddler in the face multiple times, now facing a child abuse charge.
A father reached out to the News 6 results desk, demanding answers and wanting to share his side of the story. News 6's Mark Lehman joins us live now in Oviedo. Mark, what are investigators saying happened inside that classroom?
Well, I've been going through the arrest report here, which claims the worker hit the toddler nearly a dozen times at this daycare back on June 9th. She was arrested about a week later. Now we're learning more about what happened.
I enrolled him in hopes that he'd have a good environment.
Chris Galvin says his 18-month-old son Benjamin was going to daycare at the Oviedo Christian Academy for a couple months. Then one day at pickup, he had scratches on his face.
He had 3 or 4 scratches just on one side of his face, a little bit of redness on the other side.
Galvin says he was told there was an accident, but the explanation didn't sit right, so he requested to see the daycare's security footage.
When we watched it, my wife was visibly, she had to leave the room.
The video hasn't been publicly released, but a report obtained by News 6 states it shows teacher Lucia Moniri grabbed the toddler after he bit another child.
One teacher did what she should, grabbed the other child, removed him from the situation. And then Lucia came over and did what she did with grabbing him by the face.
Moniri's arrest report says the toddler was hit with an open hand at least 6 times while sitting on the ground and crying, and again at least 4 times after he was pulled to a standing position. She was booked in jail on a child abuse charge. Documents show she's been a teacher for 2 decades. Oviedo police say Moniri declined to speak with detectives about what happened. She also didn't respond to our request for comment. Now, her attorney did speak with us off camera, and he said that the video should be reviewed before anyone jumps to conclusions. For now, reporting live in Oviedo, Mark Lehman, News 6.
Thank you, Mark. Following some breaking news right now. Off the coast of California, within the past few hours, the crew of Axiom 4 splashed down in the Pacific Ocean. The 4-person, all-private crew undocked from the International Space Station early yesterday, starting the nearly 24-hour journey back to Earth. This was only the second West Coast crew recovery for SpaceX. The Axiom 4 crew had been at the station since late last month conducting experiments.
An intense arrest in Volusia County after deputies say a man refused to follow orders, even with deputies shouting at him at gunpoint. This morning, he's in jail accused of pulling a gun in a road rage incident.
Put your hands out the window. Do not move. Grab something else. Grab something else. It's exactly how people get shot.
44-year-old Sean Eisler is the driver deputies say waved a handgun at another man just for passing him on the road Friday night. The victim called 911 and drove straight to New Smyrna Beach police, fearing he was being followed.
He pulled over, almost made me hit him, and I went around him, and as soon as I went around him, he's been following me ever since.
Deputies say they found a pistol on the seat of Eisler's car. He's charged with aggravated assault, DUI, and resisting arrest.
This morning, we're getting a new look at the arrest of a suspect accused of killing his 17-year-old partner. Surveillance video shows 23-year-old Henry Valencia being taken into custody earlier this month. He's accused of shooting and killing Nosiah Santos during an argument at a gas station back in May. Deputies say the two were in a relationship when Valencia fired several shots. Before driving off to Jacksonville, Santos died at the hospital. Valencia now charged with second-degree murder and is being held without bond.
Orlando City leaders are taking big steps to finally build a permanent Pulse Memorial by selecting a construction firm to make it happen. Yesterday, the City Council unanimously approved Gomez Construction as the top choice to build the memorial, though a contract is still pending. The city also finalized a $1 million purchase of the property next to the Pulse site, which is a key move to make the memorial possible. It's a moment families, survivors, and the community have waited years for, especially after the collapse of the One Pulse Foundation.
While what One Pulse did to this community was horrible, it can't keep us from building a permanent memorial on the site.
If all goes as planned, the nightclub will be demolished next summer, with the memorial complete by summer 2027.
Well, people say U.S. manufacturing is dead, shipped overseas and gone for good. Well, you might be surprised to learn that's not entirely true. In a massive facility in Sanford, motorhomes that look more like mansions are being built from the ground up. All new this morning, News 6 anchor Matt Austin got a firsthand look.
When we walked in, we were just blown away.
It's a big day for Dexter and Sarah Jo Osteen.
I got chill bumps realizing this is our best.
The couple from Alachua is figuring out the ins and outs of an RV they ordered a year and a half ago.
This is one of our favorite features.
That TV just appeared out of nowhere.
It comes out of nowhere.
This mansion on wheels was pieced together in a 120,000 square foot facility in Sanford. Millennium Luxury Coaches defies the stereotype that Florida is not a manufacturing state.
This is homegrown. These are Floridians building a product that is known throughout the world.
These RVs range in price from $2 million to $2.7 million. Every piece of fabric and every material is hand-picked by the customer. Even the couches and cabinets are custom made inside this building.
My customers are willing to pay the price for something that was made here.
Nelson, a U.S. Army veteran, started this business with $500 in his bank account 25 years ago. Now his team of 110 employees makes 12 to 15 of these pricey coaches per year.
As a manufacturer in Central Florida, what would you say is the biggest challenge you face?
Biggest challenge right now, our workforce is aging out. I'm having a lot of folks retire.
Figueroa says he pays his workforce 30 to 40% more since COVID. Inflation has caused his prices to rise, and tariffs on imports from places like Italy have become a headache. Still, customers like the Osteens are lining up to spend their retirement in one of these palaces on wheels.
We're looking forward to another adventure.
That was Matt Austin reporting. Now, Millennium imports that massive steel bus shell from Canada. That alone cost $950,000. But for other imports, Figueroa says it's hard to tell if price hikes are due to tariffs, inflation, or just greed.
Happening today, Mineola city leaders are set to talk about what comes next on renaming a section of Highway 27 after a fallen Lake County deputy. Bradley Link was ambushed and killed in the line of duty last August. 2 other deputies were hurt in the shootout. The designated stretch from Division Street to County Road 561 will be renamed in his memory. The woman accused of luring the deputies into the home is in custody, facing charges and a possible death penalty. Tonight's meeting starts at 6:30.
All right, let's get you back to your forecast. Weather alert day, a lot of rain moving through. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos breaking everything down.
And you know what's catching people off guard because we are so, at the end of the day, we're so used to those afternoon and evening thunderstorms that we normally just guarantee a dry morning. Not the case when you have almost a tropical-like system approaching the area. Now, I say tropical-like. It hasn't gained all the tropical characteristics to officially name it a tropical system, but it's bringing a lot of tropical moisture with it. So because of that, it's a weather alert day. We're talking about a moderate kind of level 2 to 3 kind of impact day today when it comes to our morning and afternoon. Into the evening, though, I think most of the rain should kind of taper off. Will still be another active day tomorrow, but it won't be as kind of tropical and messy as it is today. You can see the rounds of rain kind of rotating around that low, as that low will be sliding right overhead Daytona Beach, Port Orange, riding right along the coast there in Volusia County. Right now, we're picking up a pretty heavy batch of rain right now, right along I-4 there, along Markham Woods and Altamont, down through Maitland as well. Another pocket of these heavier downpours. Where the rain is falling, it comes down fast and it comes down really heavy. Right now, Conway, Belle Isle, kind of in that zone along the 528. And this is really where the heaviest of the rain has been, really right just south of Canaveral Acres, where we've racked up about 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches of rainfall in some locations. Not only is it the rain, it's going to be the wind gusting at times right now between 15 to 20, with that overall just, again, expected to move right on shore. We'll have more details on the progress of the rest of today and a look at how the system could actually develop more tropically later on this week, coming up in just a little bit. Now let's check on those roadways. They are busy. For instant traffic, just add water, Steve.
That was good. I like that. But in this case, we're not wanting to have this for breakfast right now. So this is westbound 408 at 417. Update for you. Your lanes are now back open out here, but the crash is still there off to the side of the road. First responders have opened up some travel lanes. The delay about 3 miles in the westbound direction as you approach 417. So be careful. Rest of us doing pretty good. The rain is out there along 417 and 528. Sanford, I do have a crash out here along Lake Mary Boulevard, headed west at Sanford Avenue. Guys, back to you.
Steve, thanks. A Central Florida woman fined for speeding in a school zone even though school was out. How a News 6 investigation is getting results in Leesburg after dozens of speeding tickets were issued by mistake.
First, though, the rules when it comes to when you should have your headlights on. Trooper Steve will be right back to break it all down.
Time for Ask Trooper Steve, where I get to answer some of the questions that you send in to me. And with all the rain, this is a good question to talk about right here. So it's about headlights, and specifically, What are the rules for the use of your headlights? There's got to be some guidelines, right? So let's clear this up once and for all. When do you actually have to turn on your headlights? Well, by law, it's not just whenever you feel like that you have to. There are rules for this stuff. First, sunset to sunrise. If the sun's down, your lights should be on, even if you can still see some light out there. Second, anytime you can't see clearly for 1,000 feet in front of you. Think heavy rain, fog, smoke. Basically, if you're squinting, it's time for your headlights. And this one catches people all the time. If your windshield wipers have to be on because of rain, your headlights must be on as well. Those little Florida sprinkles, yep. The law doesn't care if it's a drizzle or a monsoon. They got to be on. Don't forget your high beams. Either turn them down within 500 feet of oncoming traffic or 300 feet if you're behind someone else. No one likes being flashed behind on I-4 at 60 miles an hour. Bottom line, headlights help you see and help others see you. So if you use it right, it keeps us all safer, and I'll keep your wallet happier, right? If you've got a traffic safety question you want me to answer it, head on over to clickorlando.com/AskTrooperSteve.
Thank you, Steve. Well, a new 6 investigation leads to results in Leesburg. Police forced to toss out dozens of speeding tickets after realizing they were issued by mistake. Last month, 81-year-old Carolyn Block got a $100 ticket in the mail after being caught on camera speeding through a school zone at Leesburg High School. The problem is her ticket was issued for a time after students had left for summer school for the day. After we started asking questions, police say they realized there was a mistake with the timing, and they refunded Block's ticket along with 36 others.
But there's so many people, like even in my community here, $100 is a lot of money for them.
Now, if you want to see Mike DeForest's full investigation, we have it posted on clickorlando.com. And remember, if we can help you get results, go to the News 6 app or clickorlando.com, click Contact Us, and let us know how we can help.
Happening today, school leaders in Osceola County are expected to take up the rules when it comes to cell phones in schools. Under the latest policy up for vote, students across the district will be allowed to have their phones in their backpacks or purses, but won't be allowed to use them once on campus. The rule will also extend to other devices like smartwatches and earbuds. There are some exceptions for things like monitoring a health condition or during school-wide emergencies. You might expect pizza at the door on the 4th of July, but not from the police. In Tempe, Arizona, a Grubhub driver was arrested for reckless racing during a delivery, so officers stepped in to finish the job.
Your Grubhub guy got arrested, so still deliver your pizza.
She's surprised. Tempe police even posted the moment online, saying the order was hot and ready and the driver caught and steady.
The driver was recklessly racing to deliver, with the pizza in it.
That's the kind of delivery I want.
Maybe
he's serious.
You're looking for that tip. No, I'm just kidding. We're pushing buttons over here.
No, but it happens, and I'm just glad that it's unfortunate for the driver.
Yeah,
at least the pizza got delivered.
Everyone's safe, including the pizza.
Everyone got what they wanted except one person out of the equation.
Good point. Good point. Reckless driving. Don't need to be doing any of that this morning. Roads are wet. We're already seeing some crashes out there.
Yeah.
All because of the rain, Candace. I mean, it is a weather alert day.
It is, and it catches people off guard, does it, when it comes early in the morning. I want to give you a quick update here. The National Hurricane Center, as I thought they would, sent out their latest update as of their 8 a.m. Update, still holding it at 40% chance of potential development within the next 2 to 7 days. Again, that low just approaching parts of East Central Florida right now, hence why we are dealing with the rain and the clouds and the wind that we've been talking about happening for the last couple of days. But I really do think that we could start getting more development once it merges into the Gulf by Wednesday, Thursday. Now, the latest model runs, these continue to update several times throughout the day. Many of the models still take it out towards the Gulf. Some hug it right along the west coast of Florida. I think this option would keep it kind of just a sloppy tropical mess. But if it stays out over the Gulf for a little bit, warm waters, plenty of time, though, to actually develop into maybe a tropical depression or a storm. If it does get a name as a tropical storm, the next name on the list is Dexter. But regardless of what happens later on this week, we're really focused on what's happening today, because that's where the low is. You can see the spin just approaching parts of Central Florida at this point in time. It's not a well-defined center. If it was, it would be designated at least a depression, but it's not. It's still elongated, not extremely organized, but there is a spin. It's a low-pressure system after all. And as that low continues to spin in, it's going to continue to whip in some of those scattered heavy downpours at times. Not a lot of lightning, nothing severe, but where we're seeing the rain, it comes down heavy in a very fast amount of time there. Daytona Beach, New Smyrna, Oak Hill, you see those little pockets of those bright reds, and then those bright reds right there from Apopka out through Altamont down through Pine Hills, Winter Park, seeing some pretty heavy rain at this point in time. Now the good news is they're not going to just sit here. They do move a little bit, and that's thankfully not going to add to the concern of flooding. But again, we're talking about a lot of rain in a short amount of time certainly could cause some of those kind of flooded spots, especially on the roadways for a little bit of time. Just south of Canaveral Acres, this zone right here, we have a couple little lightning strikes there. This is the one zone that has racked up a lot of rain in the last 2-3 hours, upwards about 1.5 inches or so. So not only is it the rain, it's also the breeze. The winds are going to be picking up. It's not tropical status, but certainly a little breezier and gustier than usual. Our gusts today up to about 15 to 20 miles per hour. Then as that low pushes on shore, the moisture will continue to wrap around. We'll see some of those heavier downpours, packing more of a typical punch than an average sea breeze shower and thunderstorm. But the added cloud cover today will be keeping temperatures in the 80s. I do still think that we're going to have an active couple of days, not as active as today, but we still have plenty of tropical moisture that will linger throughout the next couple of days. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve.
Huge shout out to Orange County Fire and Orange County Sheriff's Office getting these lanes back moving for the motoring public out on the east side. Look at this. Just a little while ago, we were closed westbound here at 417. Now traffic's starting to move again. So increase the following distance. Make sure you're paying attention. Again, wipers on, headlights on. Not always for you, but for the other drivers out there. We're delayed for about 3 to 4 miles right now, but I'm going to say give it about half hour. I think this will clear out. Rest of us, not too bad. 417, nice and wet out there. So please be careful. Watch your speed in some of these curves and then slow down a little bit before you exit at some of the ramps. I do have a crash out here along 1792 Lake Mary Boulevard at Sanford Avenue. So just be careful. And then speaking of all this weather today out on patrol, what we're going to do, the do's and don'ts of driving in inclement weather. I'm trying to avoid you guys putting these hazard lights on and driving around out there. Join me today at 10. Guys, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Well, dangerous weather is wreaking havoc across the country.
And millions more are bracing for what's next. Coming up, the state's under the threat this morning and the damage left behind. As Central Texas continues to dig out from deadly flooding, new threats are hitting other parts of the country, including wildfires, flooded subway systems, and record heat. Reporter Amy Kiley shows us the damage and the danger still unfolding for millions this morning.
Tens of millions of Americans are coping with severe weather or its aftermath today. Whoa. The Northeast is recovering from overnight floods. New Jersey is under a state of emergency declaration. New York is dealing with subway station flood damage that also affected some train cars. This man seems okay after a rescue in the suburbs, while these drivers chose to turn around in the Bronx. The FAA warns of air travel impacts in New York, Washington, and Boston. Water rescues. They say Lancaster County got 7 inches of rain in less than 5 hours yesterday. Meteorologists say Maryland and D.C. were in the core threat area overnight. Meanwhile, near the Grand Canyon,
It's just really devastating.
a historic lodge is in ashes due to a rapidly spreading wildfire.
It's taking a big chunk of the park and taking it offline for at least a couple of years.
In Utah, the Monroe fire is burning.
That's a big concern, protecting the structures as we can and keeping the public safe.
And in Central Texas, recovery efforts continue after floods killed more than 100 people.
We have seen the best of humanity. We truly see God's hand at work.
Amy Kiley, News 6.
And locally, we're going to be dealing with some scattered heavy tropical downpours as an area of low pressure continues to spiral into central Florida. Right now, we're dealing with some heavy downpours, gusty winds, and that's really going to be the story over the next couple of hours. That is why today we are designating it a weather alert day. You can see rain chances staying high up to about an 80 to 90%. That added cloud cover, though, will be keeping temperatures in the upper 80s. It's not comfortable, still extremely muggy. That tropical air you can certainly feel and see when you walk out the door. We are going to slowly get back more to a typical weather setup, though, as we head into the weekend. Steve.
We're still seeing those delays westbound along State Road 408. As you approach State Road 417, you can see the bumper-to-bumper traffic there. It will clear up the second you go over Goldenrod. This was caused by an earlier crash. Obviously, the roadways are wet. We're asking that you pay attention. The rest of us doing okay this morning.
All right. Thank you, Steve, and thank you for staying with us this morning. We break news on clickorlando.com.
You can also find all of our stories on our News 6 Plus app.
Hope you have a great day. Stay dry.